Hello, today I'm going to talk about this game, Instant Game by Mike and Kyle Jones. I'm assuming they are relatives. I'm talking about this game because I played it. I ran a game of it last Friday, so it's going to be 1 week tomorrow. This game is a free game you can find on the internet. I'm going to have the link just below the clip, and this is the original cover of the book. I made this one just for myself. This is one of these games you can download and print for free as long as you keep it for yourself. So I made this one copy for me. Um, so what's the intent of the game, and how do you run this game? So the intent of the game is that people are coming to your house. You don't have anything planned for the night, and you just want to roleplay. You want to have that session, and you don't want it to be especially directed in one direction, or rather play a certain type of game. You're open to anything. So as the name says on the tin, this game is about sitting down with a couple of friends, making some rolls to determine the setting, um, a skeleton of a story, and then players are creating their characters on the spot. So it's very interesting. This PDF I have for a long time, and um, you know, there's a lot of PDF in my life, and this one you see is dating back 2007, and still I don't know why I always come back to this PDF, to this idea, because it is well made. It's very simple, and the majority of the book is just tags you rolled on the various tables explaining the various tags. So we did a game of this last Friday, as I said. We rolled for a setting. Um, yeah, you need to roll four percentile dice, D100, to determine the setting. So as a basic setting, we rolled camping out. So it was a story setting about camping. The tone was pulp. So immediately we decided to set our camping trip in the 1930s. Then we were rolled two things, and these were giants and mutation, or mutants. So we decided that mutant existed in the world, but in a pulp fashion. So each mutant could have just one little power, like try to imagine the X-Men, but in the 1930s. And the giant aspect we rolled, I just ignore it, but in the back of my head I had this plan about it. So I said just to the player, leave the rest to me. So as a story, I rolled the story while my players were making their characters. So the characters they rolled, or rather they designed, were three brothers from the Yukon province. Canada. They were three guys from the 1930s, three guys in their 20s, and they shared a family name, but also careers as an adventurer. They did sometimes in the military. So they were like three Indiana Jones brothers. Like in this game, you design a character by deciding one exceptional trait that will modify your dice, giving you a +5 or +6. Then you decide three advanced trait, giving you +3 or +4. And I ask my player to just roll the dice to determine a strong or a weak bonus. So it was just a head or tails kind of a deal. Then you choose 5 basic traits, which will give you +1 or +2, and you choose 1 flaw. And then you leave 1 advanced trait open to be decided on the fly during the game, and you do also 2 basic traits open. So you have 3 traits waiting to be discovered during the game. So basically, it's just that. I'll try to remember correctly. Do I have these character sheets? No, I don't have them. So there was one guy who was super agile, one who was doing transmutation, so converting minerals to other minerals and such. And the last one was, I'm trying to remember, was he super strong? No, he was not. Doesn't matter. 3 guys with various abilities. While they were making this, I rolled a story, and the story was kind of crazy. The opposition was a mythical figure. So after juggling with the giant I rolled earlier, I decided that this mythical figure had to be related to titans or giants from the Norse mythology. And I decided that Thor would be a good idea. But then I thought, yeah, Thor, it's maybe too much obvious. So I set my goal on a Valkyrie. So a Valkyrie will descend from the sky and do something about it. So I continue to roll for the story. And it gave me something like she was trying to transform animals to destroy the world. So so I quickly decided that she brought with her like Odin wolf, inspired by the Fenris wolf, and some saber-tooth tiger, and they were and she was transforming them into innocent little kitties and little puppies, and she were about to distribute them throughout the world and then push on a button and spread chaos in the world. So it was a crazy idea, but it fitted the pulp tone we just rolled. So the game was super awesome. During the game, one of my players said out loud, and I took a mind picture of that moment. He said, "This is really fun," and he was like into it. He was immersed. And one of the things we got from this game, apart from the fact that it worked really, really well for a 30-minute prep, and under that, it's the on-the-fly trait, the open traits that are not set at the beginning. Players really liked that. They really enjoyed that portion of it. If I were to design a game tomorrow, I would probably use that option to leave some skills, feats, or abilities on the side, just open to the moment. There was a scene where one of the players uses tracking traits to investigate kidnapping in the jungle, and he missed his role. So I just declared that something happened in the jungle, and of course he was capable of seeing that something happened, but he was not capable of reading the place. So I just declared that maybe you could spend more time in that place to maybe gather more clues about the scene. And he was agreeing with that. But the other players used an on-the-fly character development and declared, "Oh yeah, I just forgot to mention, guys. Last time we saw each other, I finally completed my scout, my Boy Scout mastery degree or whatever," and he chose an advanced trait, and he rolled the dice, and he just like swooped and rapidly in the scene, and he succeeded his dice roll, and he was like out showing, or he was showing off to his brother, like, "You misread the scene, and this happened and that happened." And the other two was like, "What? You're a master scout!" And it was a big moment in the game, and everyone suddenly realized what the on-the-fly development was, and that was a big fun for them. So the 3 abilities they had to develop quickly developed over the game after that. So they fought the Valkyrie. They tried to stop the mountain exploded. The giant idea that I rolled initially, I decided that a huge skeleton was like the dungeon, or the supporting the cavern place thing. So it was the corpse of a titan laying under a mountain. So when they saw finally that the stalagmite was in fact bones of the titan, they were like, "Whoa!" And one maybe mentioned like, "Oh, this is the giant we rolled earlier." So great game. It's a free. Sometimes free stuff on the internet don't get the credit that they could have, but this little tiny game is very excellent, and it's a good way to spend an evening with friends. So I recommend it. And I would end this video by saying that tomorrow night is another. We're kind of in a pause from our D&D campaign. I had to recharge the battery. We're like at session 9, and I need to figure out some stuff about the story and the background. I need to write and brainstorm. And also, one of my players is on vacation, so we had this situation where a break was required. So previous week we played instant game, and tomorrow night my friend will run a game of this bad boy here that everyone is totally crazy about these days. I have a dice set. This will be the second time I will use them. I've already played once. This will be my second time playing a smuggler, a different character, but still a smuggler. So this is going to be quite exciting. So see you later. Bye-bye. And